Welcome back to Call of the Father. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I'm recording this on Mother's Day, so just want to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody, and especially if you're a single mom, and if you're a single dad, Happy Mother's Day to you. I have somebody really close to me that he calls me every Mother's Day and wishes me Happy Mother's Day, and it's kind of funny, but it's appreciated, and I feel the love in that. So, in case I've given the impression that I've got a lot of things figured out and that I'm just doing so good and that I'm the one teaching, holy shit, I gotta just say, I don't have it all figured out, and that's part of why I said I'm doing this podcast. It helps me to organize my thoughts and think through things. And man, I hope I don't get emotional here, but yesterday was just a really hard day. It's just hard being a parent, and especially being a single parent, and coming from trauma. Like if you had childhood trauma, if you felt neglected, abandoned, rejected, abused, if you had that trauma where you didn't really get to be a kid, it's hard trying to be a parent, because that's what being a kid is about, is that if you were able to be a kid, then you had a good parent. You had somebody who was being that parent and showing you how that part's done and validating your feelings and showing you how to go through life and work through your emotions. Like, really, it's processing our emotions. That's how we grow up, and I just didn't have that. My feelings were denied, rejected, shamed. There were so many things there, and so I still have my feelings. And how do I navigate this? God, I'm just trying to do the best that I can for my kids, and I don't want to hurt them. And one of the biggest things in my mind and in my heart is that I cannot be my dad to my kids. I'm so conscious of it and aware of it all the time. And yesterday was just really hard. There's times when I get a little bothered or triggered, upset over things, and then my feelings come out, and I just feel like I'm acting in ways that I see my kids frustrated or trying to avoid my behavior, and it's not easy. And it's those days when I might have days that I feel like I'm just doing so good and everything's going well, and I do have some things figured out, and it just feels like I'm winning. And then a day like that comes along, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm my dad in some way that I didn't recognize or didn't realize. And I'm like, I just don't even, sometimes it brings feelings like you just want to give up. I just don't know how to win. And so anyway, yesterday, I was probably just frustrated over a few things and some little things. I give my kids a lot of leeway to just do what they feel like they need to do. And I think a lot of times I'm easygoing, but then when I'm not, I'm like the opposite of easygoing. I flip a switch from easygoing to it's hard for them to deal with me. And I don't know, one of the things, just probably a little thing, but I kept telling my daughter, she's a pretty girl, and she's driving now, and she keeps just having all these little interactions. People are pacing with her, and people trying to get her to roll down her window. And the other day she dealt with a road rager that was she ended up having to call the police. And so I keep telling her I bought her a mace, and I keep telling her, put it in your car. And she's sitting there on the couch and didn't go put it in her car. And then comes up to, I kept telling her, and a week later, still not in her car, and she had somebody pacing her coming up the road, and I'm like, I just kind of got mad at her. I'm like, I need you to take me seriously here. And anyway, it wasn't just that, probably several little things that I was bugged about yesterday, and I thought I was having a good day, but I just realized from my daughter's perspectives, both of them, my son wasn't here, they're just feeling like I'm all uptight and it was hard to be around me, and I get it. It frustrated me more because then I felt like I need to be able to feel my feelings. I need to make sure that my feelings are not rejected too. I'm trying to parent them and I'm trying to acknowledge their feelings, but I need mine seen and heard too, and it's hard. So yesterday, one of the things about it wasn't all about this incident with the mace. There were several little things that bothered me during the day, and most of them didn't have anything to do with my kids, but they react when I'm upset about something else or something bothers me. They feel it. It's like they feel it and react to that, and then I end up feeling like I can't be bothered by something, so it feels like a rejection of my feelings, a little triggering, going back to childhood. Like trying to do this healing, I feel like I want to be able to feel my feelings. If I feel bothered, I'm bothered. I'll work on it, I'll process it myself, but I don't want to be expected not to feel what I feel. So it's kind of a weird gray area I got to work through with my kids and try to just do better communicating. Let them know when it's not about them, that I don't want them to feel what I feel or be reacting to how I feel. And maybe I need to do better of isolating that and making sure that it doesn't hit them in a way that it hurts them or they're feeling it inside. I get it. It's a reaction to a parent that's just blowing up. I felt it with my dad. So apparently somehow I'm missing something here, and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to work through this. But it was just a hard day dealing with that. So being a parent and being a single parent and coming from trauma, it's just really hard navigating all this. So if you're in this boat, I feel your pain. I'm there with you, and I'm sorry you're going through that, but don't give up. I think, one of the things about healing when you've come from that kind of a background is learning the healing that inner child. It's learning to reparent yourself, and that's what a lot of people talk about in different healing circles, reparenting your inner child. And so I've done so much work there, and it's just not easy. I have those days like that where I feel like I'm just failing, and my kids are feeling, I don't know, like I'm just too much to deal with some days, and it's not easy because I'm trying to be there for them. I told my daughter, I kind of took a little break, and I just went to give them some space and went and drove to a little park and just kind of sat there in my car, and I was just kind of thinking through things and trying to sort it out. And I closed my eyes, and next thing I know, she's knocking on my window, and I'm like, what, did you track me? my girls, I don't even track them, and they track me. They know from their phone where I'm at, little monkeys. But anyway, and she gets in, and man, if anything, I don't want her to have to feel like she's got to be a parent in any way, but boy, did she gets it. I mean, she gets so many things, and she's been trying to heal from things herself, and she said, Dad, I know that you're doing your best, I know that nobody showed you how to do this, and you're trying to be a parent when nobody really showed you how to do it right. And man, that meant a lot just for her to say that and recognize that. And I just said, I love you so much. You're always going to be my little girl. And I just told her what I said a little while ago, that I'm trying so hard, and I'm so conscious of trying not to be my dad to you guys. It's so important to me to do better and to trying to break these cycles of trauma. It's not perfect for you, but I'm trying not to be him and trying to do better for you. And she said, that she said, you're not your dad. And we see that when we see the things that you're trying to do to help us. And she said that you're very conscious of it. I can see that. And in big ways, you're very conscious of the big things, and you catch them all. And it's just little things that slip through. She said it's little things that get by because you're focused on the big things. And I was just like, wow, that is really well put. I couldn't have said that better myself. So I'm not going to give up, but it was just a hard day. And that just brings up the point that I guess what it feels like coming from that trauma and trying to break the cycle, it feels like you're trying to make sure your kids know that they're your little girl, they're your little boy, and they'll always be that in some way. But you didn't feel like you were, I don't feel like I was anybody's little boy. I never felt like I was able to be somebody's little boy. So now I'm trying to reparent my own inner child and be my own parent and tell my inner child myself, you're my boy, you're my little boy. And I do that. I look at these pictures. I mentioned it in an episode before where the homework in one of the classes I took was to get out pictures of yourself when you were a little kid and a baby, whatever, pictures of your younger self, and to honor those. And like I said, at first that was hard. All I felt was shame. When I looked at those pictures, I didn't like him. I felt shame. And as I healed and worked on growing and just worked on healing things, like I came to a point in that course where I didn't look at him and feel that way. I felt love toward him, and like that poor kid, what he went through, and even me, like I was programmed to feel that way toward him, that shame. And I saw a thing one time that said, be careful how you talk to your kids, because that will become their inner voice. And it's just true. I felt a lot of that from the abandonment from my mom and just some of the emotional treatment from my dad. I feel like I became, he was very critical, and I feel like I learned to take on that job and criticize myself more than he could ever. I sounded more, it's kind of a joke, but it was like I sounded more like him than he did. Inside my own head, I sounded more like him than he did. I was very critical and pushed myself. It's like the story that I shared a few weeks ago, the Antidote to Shame episode, when I shared that story that my friend wrote. I just became very good at criticizing myself, and I punished myself. I did things pushing myself to achieve goals that I thought would make me feel enough. Anyway, back to, I just feel like it's important if you're on this healing journey, you're a single parent, you came from trauma, if you're not a single parent, whatever is your situation, don't forget to just take the time on those days that it's hard and where you feel like you're not connecting, maybe take a minute, just tell your kids, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for the way this feels right now. I guess I just need to take a little time and spend just a little bit of time with myself. I'll come back in a few minutes or whatever it is, and go and just maybe try to connect with your inner child. Maybe your inner child is feeling something where this is not freaking easy. Like trying to be the parent to them and parent yourself at the same time. I think I just get in a gridlock where I'm focusing on trying to be the parent to my kids and I forget my own inner child. And anyway, I guess this will be a short episode today, but if you're in any of these situations, if you're a single parent, if you're not a single parent, if you're going through hard things, just parenting is hard, don't give up. Man, when you have those days that you feel like giving up, just take a minute and know that, maybe take a minute and look at what you have done and how far you have come, and just kind of refocus on the good and what you've achieved so far. You're doing better than your parents did, and this is not easy, healing and growing and breaking these cycles, and there's so many people out there now trying to do this, and man, I just salute all of you. You're freaking champions. I'm not going to give up, and I feel like if I can do this, probably anybody can. And there people came from worse situations than me and are doing it. You can do this. I can do this. Don't give up. Thank you for listening. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to fathers and mothers. Like, if you're in a situation where you're a single father or a single mother, you're doing both jobs, and man, I salute you. It's not easy. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next week.